It has been a quick hit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of the Winter Invitational here, a part of the 2023 Grand Circuit. I'm joined by Alligator Source as we have Kool-Aid Man taking on Sloth Mafia and one more best of 7.
And more best of sevens to go. And, Nation, hoping for a little bit longer series. We understand that that's how it goes sometimes in the playoffs. But, these teams, these players have a lot to show for it. They have a lot of good skills amongst them. And when it ends up in a short series, you want it to be, just a little bit quicker throughout the evening. Or a little bit longer as they go. So we'll see if these next couple of series really stand up to it. The Kool-Aid Men, they're going to say, you know what, we're going to start it on the best foot and maybe not change things up too much from how the night has gone as they score scarcely 24 seconds in.
We're getting that early goal in Game 1. It's got to be a good feeling for any team. You get that momentum moving forward. That opening goal just pushes that, team to continue to press on the other end. And, Sloth Mafia had a long day last night going through 5 rounds of the Swiss stage. And Kool-Aid Men got a nice 3-round night to their end. And they had some pretty big wins yesterday as well. And Sloth Mafia now up against a much more talented Kool-Aid Men roster.
Well, the Kool-Aid Men, they went 3-0 as mentioned, but they only needed 11 games to do it. They didn't even go, throughout as many games as possible. As you mentioned, Sloth Mafia, they went 5 rounds, 20 games played. That is not a short night by any means, especially when you're going that deep into the Swiss. So they'll try to, make it a little bit quicker themselves. But based on the way that Kool-Aid Men have been playing so far throughout the bracket, through everything, it will be difficult. They're going to have to pick up the pace and get rid of some of this open room that the Kool-Aid Men have been feasting on early.
It's a 2-0 start here. Only a minute gone, Gator, and a quick start, like you mentioned here, for the Kool-Aid Men. And it's already getting out of hand here in the early half, and now Sloth Mafia's got to find an answer back because just a couple weeks ago in the Stage 2 qualifiers, these two teams met in the first round, and it was a 3-1 victory for the Kool-Aid Men, so now they're looking for revenge here.
Yeah, this would be a good time to do it. And it could be just, game number 1 jitters coming into a best of 7. Hopefully, they do pick it up a little bit. They've been just a little bit slower in the first 90 seconds, but, they find goals one way or another. Scion, this time striking, to bring us back within 1 and not let it get out of hand too much early.
That's a good answer back here for Scion and Sloth Mafia, getting that early goal here, first minute and a half. You pull it back within 1, and now the Kool-Aid Men have to reset and kind of get back in an offensive mindset. They go up 2-0, they get that insurance goal, and now they're right back within 1. Now they got to start trying again.
Yeah, I'm noticing it's very obvious here in the beginning that the Kool-Aid Men, they're feeling warmed up. They're clicking. They're going for a lot of these aerial plays, some infield passing plays, and a lot of offensive pressure to try to set that tone early and try to say, hey, you guys might be the Mafia, but you're still Sloths at heart. We're going to force you to try to keep up in this matchup.
I like that joke, Gator. And 2 minutes gone, and Kool-Aid Men have, they got a good warm-up here before tonight's series, and Sloth Mafia, I believe, not sure if they were able to get any warm-up at all, but now Sloth Mafia got to find an answer back here. It's still within 1 and about 2 minutes gone, and the demo comes through, but you love to see what Sloth Mafia is doing. They're finding their footing here in this back half and making Kool-Aid Men really work for here on the offensive end.
Oh, no doubt about it. They look to have stabilized themselves. They're not as frantic in the back end, although even if you're a little bit more stable, there's still going to be some force that can push their way through. In this case, it's going to be the duo of Skyline over to Matt right underneath the crossbar to get that 2-goal lead back.
What a pass there. Skyline just completes a perfect pass right to center field, and Matt slots it for a 3-1 lead. Now Sloth Mafia down 2 goals again. They got to find an answer back here as a shot does come through, and Skyline picking up a demo there from his teammate. And it's still a 2-goal difference. Plenty of time to go, Gators. Game 1, like you mentioned earlier, these teams just going to fill each other out and kind of see what happens here and make the correct adjustments going to Game 2. But, Game 1's a pretty important game in a series like this.
Oh, absolutely. It really does set just kind of that tone of how is it going to be. Is it going to be one team launching off to that run, that early hot start, and then forcing the other team to try to play to it, or is it going to be more give and take, back and forth? In my opinion, it does seem to be getting more towards that back and forth since that first 90 seconds had finished. Sloth Mafia, they are starting to get to these challenges a little bit quicker. The problem is it going to be too little too late for Game 1? I think it might be. But as the series goes, hopefully they'll be able to tighten it up, keep it closer.
Yeah, and Kool-Aid Men, jump out to a 3-goal lead here, and Rogue just gets dusted on that back end, and Now with a 3-goal deficit, a minute 52 to go. Maybe Sloth Mafia can put 1 or 2 more on for the road here, but Kool-Aid Men in a pretty comfortable position right now.
Oh, absolutely comfortable. They have time to get to these. They're just faster to the ball. They're getting the touches over to each other, and it's going to prove important for Sloth Mafia as this goes to keep that ball close to themselves, not give away possession too quickly, especially with how quick the Kool-Aid Men are able to turn possession into positives. If you limit their amount of time with the ball, it's just going to work out better for Sloth Mafia, but of course, easier said than done.
Easier said than done for sure, and like I said, these teams have met before. Sloth Mafia knows what it takes to win a game here. But about 80 seconds left, and here comes Matt for a 5th, but it's going to be cleared wide, and another chance comes up for Kool-Aid Men, but Sloth Mafia just continue to get pressured on their back half gator, and they just can't seem to get out of it.
They're trying, and that's the thing, is trying is not quite succeeding. As the series goes, you know, it might change a little bit, but Kool-Aid Men, they're off to a hot start. There's zero doubt about it. We're going to get an answer back here from Scion. Sloth Mafia are going to bring themselves back within 2 with 56 seconds left, but still, it's going to be a tall task based on how the prior 4 minutes and change have gone.
That is a smart play right there. They get the demo in the goal and leave the double tap wide open, and it does connect. And it's back within 2, maybe 1 more here, but they now give themselves a chance to tie this one up and leave some time on the clock.
Let's see how well it all ends up working out. At this point, it might be playing for pride, but just playing for that stability and that momentum for the Sloth Mafia. And actually, Painter is going to get this one up, and Rogue with a quick follow-up, but the post denies and keeps us at that 2-goal difference. So we'll see if Matt can get something going back here the other way, but not what you want to see if you're a member of Sloth Squad Nation.
That's a goal they're going to want back, Gator. That had to go in to get themselves a chance here. And here comes Drago downfield. A long interval here and runs all at a boost, and a demo in the back end. Painter extends all the way forward to pick up that 1 demo.
Matt really wanted to go for something fancy there. You could see that he wanted to get that pinch on the follow-up. You get a little clip here at the end of game number 1. Very comfortably in the hands of the Kool-Aid Men. And they're going to look to continue their winning ways heading into game number 2. So it's been a very hot start, even just taking a look at the stats. I mean, actually, I'm going to take another look at that. Sloth Mafia had a lot more shots on there than I expected. It was 10 shots coming in for the Kool-Aid Men. I was going to, do a double check, see how many, Sloth Squad. I figured they were going to be around like the 4 or 5 mark. I mean, they still put on 9 of their own. It just felt like they were on defense so much more.
They had those couple opportunities there, the long clears that turned into shots, but they just couldn't find themselves any really chance to score. We saw the one late there. They got put off the post, and they could have pulled within 1 and get themselves a fighting chance. But we go to game 2, and Kool-Aid Men have a 1-goal lead and 1-game lead, and Sloth Mafia put up a stronger fight in that back frame, but just couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, the slow start was not something that they were looking for. It's something they're going to have to avoid in game number 2. But the best thing about it, it's a new game. It's a refresh, a clean slate here in Forbidden Temple, as they'll look to try to reset their footing. They looked fairly good towards the end, but they're going to need to do it early and not rely on the back half of a game to try to make up for that early lost ground.
For sure, and we saw a much better performance in that back frame of Game 1 from Sloth Mafia, but they got to continue to do that all 5 minutes here in Game 2 to give Kool-Aid Men a run for their money before this series gets out of hand.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, Kool-Aid Men, they're the favorites coming into this. Painter, Skyline, the connection coming out again. I mean, Kool-Aid Men had such a strong run through the qualifiers. I mean, +7 in games. They didn't play against each other during the Swiss, but against their common opponents, Kool-Aid got that 3-1 win over Team Takeover. Sloth Mafia got swept by that same team. So we'll take that for what it is. Going forward into this, it still looks like Kool-Aid Men are holding on to it and doing so fairly comfortably.
For sure, and Team Takeover, a top 5 team here in BLCS as Painter makes it 2-0. The big shocker last night. They weren't able to qualify for day 2 today after a 2-3 start to their day 1, but Sloth Mafia, again, down 2-0 in the early frame.
Yeah, this is looking a little too uncomfortably close to game number 1. If you're rooting for Sloth Mafia, they're going to have to get, especially this first minute, needs to be tighter, it needs to be quicker. Kool-Aid Men are getting too comfortable too quickly, and that is just leading to them, just relaxing as the rest of the game goes. You can't force mistakes if they're not under pressure, and so far, Kool-Aid Men, they've been looking pretty calm all game, all series long.
I agree 100% here, and Matt Painter, again for Kool-Aid Men, bringing this squad forward, and this squad has plenty of good results for Kool-Aid Men. Sloth Mafia just can't seem to really find their footing here against a team like Kool who's 2 divisions above them in BLCS, and I think the skill gap is kind of starting to show here.
Yeah, it's the little things. It's the pathing. It's the rotations, the consistency on the challenges. That's a good fake challenge by Skyline to put it onto the back wall as well. But it just, like I was saying, the small things are making the difference. It looks like when Sloth Mafia are getting room, they're quickly challenged by Kool-Aid Men. They know that if they're giving that room, they can recover for it quickly. Painter point taken right there, and they're just not concerned about what Sloth Mafia are bringing to the table. They're going to have to get tricky with it. They're going to have to play more disciplined and more clutch up Rocket League if they're going to pull off the upset here.
I agree 100% there. We saw, they're starting to utilize the demo strategy here for Sloth Mafia as their goals from Game 1 came off of demos, but they're going to have to do more of that here in Game 2 as we get set for the final frame, Gator. Sloth Mafia's got to put something together here.
And they got it. I do like, as you pointed out, the demos are starting to come out. There's some points on those rotations that Sloth Mafia are finding something. Try to take them out at the kneecaps, playing true, a little truer to the back half of their name. But they need to find it more consistently, and they need to find it quicker. They're having these shots, they're having their opportunities, but they are not clicking bang, bang, bang. They're going more bang, bang, and those room in the gaps are where Kool-Aid Men are just stripping it away and taking away the momentum from Sloth Mafia.
100% agree there, and Kool-Aid Men just putting on a barrage of attacks here, and we see just how quickly Sloth Mafia is getting contested in their back end, and they're just not ready for it for any challenge. And I think it's kind of where we're starting to see the space created by Kool-Aid Men is much more wider than what we've seen for Sloth Mafia so far.
That just speaks to the comfortability of it, though. A couple of the Sloth Mafia players are going to be closer up to it. They're going to be bunched up a little bit more because they're prepping for the worst-case scenario. On the flip side, the Kool-Aid Men, they're feeling comfortable. They're going to where they know they can get that extra boost, get a little bit better line on it, but still know that they can get up to the ball on the challenge, and they're taking those more calculated risks rather than playing it safe. Sloth Mafia, again, playing it safe only means you're going to be stuck in your half more often than you would like.
100% agree again, and Sloth Mafia, a very talented team as well. I mean, top 8 is, very solid for these events, and Kool-Aid Men, their eyes are on top 2, Gator, but it's a long road ahead, but they gotta find some wins here, and Sloth Mafia not gonna go down without a fight.
Oh, absolutely, and I don't anticipate that they're going to. I think once they start getting kind of maybe some of the nerves off of it, they go a little bit looser and just go for that YOLO meta, because that's kind of what they need to do to start throwing off this Kool-Aid Men team who, again, they've just been rotating cleanly. The shots have been good. And Sloth Mafia has been getting a lot of saves, but again, they've been back so often that count is going to be a little bit inflated. Some of these infield passes continue to come out for the Kool-Aid Men, and it looks more like they're playing to keep the clock off at this point.
We see 5 shots come through for Sion, and he just can't seem to finish it off, and this might be a 6th here, and Painter does get the clear towards the corner. It's already over 2, and last man is Sion here. They gotta find something quick, Gator. 30 seconds to go. They gotta find a goal here.
And that challenge by Rogue might have been able to lead something, but the defense too strong. Drago will try to find a gap on the defense, but the Painter, he has it covered. He's in the name. He's not going to let anything open for the opposition, and it'll just slap away at that offensive possession for the Sloth Mafia. And Painter, again, just finding that gap, challenging and pushing it back over to the orange zone. Skyline blocked by Rogue, but time ticking off the clock. Painter says, you know what? I don't have the hat trick yet. I want some more points. I want my name back on the screen. We're going to get one more here with 5 seconds left.
He picks up the hat trick, too, to end off game 2. And 5 seconds to go. I think it's safe to say this one's over. Kool-Aid Men now up 2-0 in this series, Gator. What do you really need to see happen here for Sloth Mafia to have a chance to advance to the next round?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. It's hard to say, too, because they're not playing poorly. They are going up against a better team, which makes it difficult to say what to do better. You could say play faster, play more aggressive. They could be doing all of those things. The problem is when they're getting possession, they aren't holding on to it as long as they necessarily would like. And when they've even had to get the 1-touch 2, maybe 3, the next one has always been going over to the Kool-Aid Men. Whereas on the flip side, this blue trio has been excellent at holding on to possession once they have the ball. They're getting it to each other, or they're keeping it glued to their own hood, and they're just keeping it away from Sloth Mafia until they get that comfortable lead, and then you just see them having fun flying around the pitch.
Well, I agree. I mean, I think, when you're playing a team that's just better than you really have to dig down deep and find, opportunities and create awkward positions for your opponents and find a lot of shots on target, and Sloth Mafia just isn't doing that right now, and they're going to turn things around. Down 2-0 now. Sloth Mafia's got to find an answer back soon. Going down 0-3, it's pretty much spelling trouble.
Yeah, no, and I believe that anything can happen. Don't get me wrong. Sloth Mafia, these players are good. Rogue, Scion, Drago, I've seen them play in how many different leagues. I know they can pop off, and I know they can put this up and figure out ways to get the wins. It's just going to be a little difficult, especially against this Kool-Aid Man team, the way they have been playing. So finding those demos, finding ways to interrupt what Kool-Aid are doing, and make them change their game, even just a little bit if that's what it's going to take, that'll start opening up these avenues for Sloth Mafia.
100% agree. I mean, Sloth Mafia, Division 3 team here, #1 overall seed in the Division 3 playoffs, so they are very more than capable of pulling this off, but they just got to dig down deep and find opportunities and work together as a team to take down Kool-Aid Men here. But again, Kool-Aid Men just one of the top teams here in BLCS, and they're going to make Sloth Mafia do everything in their manpower to pull off a miracle here.
Absolutely. But you know what? What a good sign for the Sloth Nation is they did not concede 2 goals in the first minute, not even 1 goal, which is much better than the first couple of games have gone. So maybe this is a sign of a bright future here through Game 3.
100% the 50, just that has to go through. Another big chance for Sloth Squad Nation. They just can't put another one through. But like you mentioned, a much better start here to Game 3. The demo comes through, another chance there, and we see the demo start to get utilized more here in Game 3. The bumps as well in front of that blue net we just saw about a minute ago. So, I mean, they definitely know that they got to go for more bumps and demos if they're going to pull off something here.
Yeah, they're starting to get the pressure, too. I mean, they're out shooting 4-1 in the first 100 seconds of the game. And the problem is that Matt's also been stepping it up on defense, a savior medal within the first minute, and did not get one there, as he could not keep it out of the post. Scion is going to put Sloth Mafia on the board first, as they finally find some room up on offense and get that upward momentum going.
Their first lead of the night, Gator, comes in Game 3. 3:13 to go, that's a lot of time. Can they hold on?
Yeah, and holding on might be what they have to do. I'd love to see them extend it. I would love to see that goal being a confidence boost for these 3 players. And trying and just allowing them to play more fluidly and play the game that they know that they want to play. And it's also going to be a good test of the Kool-Aid Men. Now that they're down, they still have 3 minutes left in the game if they want to get back and try to set up a sweep and keep the trend going that we've seen tonight. But it will be that great test of their own skills, their own mental. Are they going to go for the kill? Are they going to try to end it and put the aggression back on? Or are they going to play loose? And in my opinion, maybe set up a little bit of a look of weakness for any potential upcoming opponents.
You know, like you mentioned, the weakness here for the upcoming opponents. It's a big key word there. Scion trying to make it 2-0. He will. 2:23 to go, and Sloth Mafia extend their lead to 2.
Yeah, that was just a good follow-through. Rogue, Drago, Scion, 1, 2, 3. And when they go to find who's going to be the 4th, assuming it's going to be the defender, nobody's there. The challenge is aggressive, and that runs kind of counter to what I was talking about in games 1 and 2, where the positioning of the Kool-Aid Men allowed them to be a little further off, but they could recover quickly. We're not seeing that here in game number 3, and that is leading to a couple of these goals here for Sloth Mafia.
Yeah, and they win that 50-50 challenge on that far side, opening up the net for, I believe that was Scion who scored the goal, and 2:06 to go, and it's 2 goals up here, and Sloth Mafia looking a little bit more comfortable here, Gator.
Oh yeah, I know they're looking a lot better. Kool-Aid Men not as sharp. You know, the most recent wall for them to blow through might be a little bit more reinforced, but you know, the big bad wolf got through all of them fairly easily until the last, in which case he never got through. We'll see if they are a little bit more true to the advertisements of old, or if we're going to switch it up to something they didn't ask for. But either way, Sloth Nation, Sloth Mafia, they're looking a lot better as this game has gone, and still a multiple goal lead here with 90 left.
Playing a lot smarter too on defensive challenges, enforcing strong 50s, and you know, putting pressure on when they need to, and allowing space to be made whenever they need to as well. And I think it's paying dividends here in Game 3 as they find themselves up 2-0, eyeing a shutout here in Game 3.
Yeah, they're looking to get the skunk, and it might happen. They still see that goose egg. They got 70 seconds to do so. And we are starting to see the Kool-Aid Men, they're getting more aggressive. They're trying to go for these challenges. The Sloth Mafia are winning the 50s, and they're just making it so difficult. 60 seconds left, 3-0 lead! We're going to see how the rest of Game 3 develops.
Now they're really starting to cook here, Gator. This squad is warmed up. 56 seconds to go, and Drago finds a 3-0 start. So 1 minute to go. Kool-Aid Man, they've done it before, so I'm not going to keep talking, but Sloth Mafia gotta hang on.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Sloth Mafia. So if we do see this from Kool-Aid Man, I mean, that may end up being even more telling if they're able to come back from down 3-0 with only a minute left, but right now, not looking as good. Rogue is actually going to pick up another as well. This is, yeah, no, this is looking a little good here for Sloth Mafia. The big question, Nation, is we can start looking forward to the future games. Is this going to be an aberration? Is this just a one-off in this matchup? We see it in these David versus Goliath matches from time to time. Or is this just going to be the start of something new? Maybe the Kool-Aid Men just didn't have the right concoction. They're not as concentrated as they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really call this a David versus Goliath matchup here, but I think Sloth Mafia is a good enough team to really put up a fight against a strong, talented team like this, and that's really showing off right now. But if they're really gonna, make their name known here in this event, they've got to do it at least 1-2 more times, put up one strong fight before they go down. If it does go the way of Kool-Aid Man.
I'll be honest, I do think this is going to be an aberration. I think this will be a. I saw that, chat. But with a couple of seconds left, it is going to be one for Sloth Mafia. And now, we'll find out how it's going to go. They get one on the board. 2-1 still for Kool-Aid Men. And now seeing the trend. If Kool-Aid don't score 2 goals in the first minute, they lose. Granted, we've only seen 3 games, so we'll see if they can get that hot start again in game number 4 and get back to their winning ways.
For sure, and look at the shot total here. It's a big difference. 3 on the side of Kool-Aid Man and 11 on the Mafia, and it's paid dividends here how much pressure we saw change in Game 3.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a good sign. It really is a good sign for Sloth Mafia. And it shows, I mean, that they can get wins. They have not given up. I did not expect them to by any means, by any stroke of the imagination. But they have found some methods of moving forward, and they're just going to have to repeat this and do it again. It's going to be a lot. It sounds like it's a a non-statement to say, if Kool-Aid Men go up 3-1, it's going to be a lot harder. But it really is, because Sloth Mafia, they need to get the second win to show that they are hanging as consistently as they want to, and not let it be a 5-minute one-off. Let it be a continued 10 minutes, 15, multiple games throughout this series.
Keyword, do it again. As we go to Game 4, Gator, they got to do it again here, and if they can tie this series up at 2, we could very well see a Game 7 later tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also means, Nation, it's finally not a sweep on stream tonight, so we at least did change up something here as we head into game number 4.
Yeah, and we saw that last series go 4-0. I thought that would go to a Game 6, maybe 7, but in any case, just put up one strong showing. So we're back in this third series, though. It's 2-1. Sloth Mafia find their first victory of the night. They got to continue to put the pressure on, and now Kool-Aid Man has got to find a response.
Like I said, it'll be interesting. They haven't really had to respond to terribly much as it's gone. I mean, they only dropped 2 games throughout the Swiss bracket. They've dropped 1 here tonight, of course, a single best of 7 rather than multiple best of 5s. Let's see if the Sloth Mafia can pick up another one here. They are showing more signs of aggression. They're keeping it upfield more, and they're challenging these balls, these free balls, quicker. Although they are back on defense now. We did not see too much time on defense in game number 3. The Kool-Aid Men, they do look to have sharpened it up after that game 3 loss.
I believe one of them just had gotten on about 10 minutes before the series started, so I think as a team, they're finally kind of warmed up here, and the chemistry's clicking, but no, the caster curse hits and Painter strikes first.
And that's going to be good for Kool-Aid Man as well, not just getting the ball, but Drago is going to have a miss. That's not something you can have at this level of Rocket League, and Painter just up quicker, up cooler, and he's going to put it over the top of the defender. Kool-Aid Man strike first.
Yeah, that's a big miss there from Drago. You cannot miss that when your net's wide open after minute 15 gone, and now Sloth Mafia's got to answer back. Which they do!
Spy on, Will! Okay, a little bit of help from the defense. The Skyline cut amuck in a bad situation, but Science is going to do it himself from the ceiling. Is going to play a low under Painter. Follows through for the second up touch, and Skyline just hauling back, trying to find something, and inadvertently bouncing off of his own car and in. It would have been very difficult to save, don't get me wrong, but Sloth Mafia have answered indeed.
I think Sloth Mafia there, Sion, I think he was thinking he was going to force that 50 from the initial touch, but the first defender missed completely, which opened up that opportunity to score, and now it's 1-1 just within a quick answer back, and we're in an even ball game.
And Nation, I'm going to point out, it's a great play there by Skyline in the corner. There's a couple of back-to-back mistakes there, and this has been a clean series so far. We really have not seen those egregious of errors until the last 20-ish seconds of the game.
Yeah, now it's getting that longer part of the series, and you got to just find the holes, and we're seeing that come through here in Game 4, and now Sloth Mafia right back down 1 as Kool men get comfortable.
I'm going to bring that back up on offense as well. Skyline looking to play it onto the back wall. Rogue getting the clear. Actually, it's going to get it over to Drago. Painter's going to miss on the way back. This is starting to, deteriorate a little bit, Nation. As you mentioned, it is getting later on in the series. These guys, I mean, it's still, about 20-ish minutes into it so far, but it looks, I don't want to say that fatigue is setting in, but this is not what we have seen through the first few games.
100% agree. I mean, I think we've seen countless defensive errors by both squads here, and we saw a pretty clean series, like you mentioned, in the first 3 games, but now it's, a couple errors, and these teams are capitalizing off it pretty perfectly here. We've seen a couple mistakes by both squads on offense as well, but we're about 2 minutes gone, and Game 4's deadlock here too.
All tied up. Still more than half the game to go. And the Kool-Aid men, they are working their way back up into these offensive pressure situations. So a little more unique situation that we've seen so far this series. I do anticipate that Kool-Aid men are going to be the ones to strike again. They're going to go up 3-2. So it would not be too surprised to see if Sloth Mafia are able to get it. I would love to see this series go a full 7 games and really force these teams to dig deep in this matchup.
I would love a Game 7 here. I think for Sloth Mafia, though, Drago's got to get comfortable in the air. We've seen countless aerial errors made by Drago, and he's just getting dusted here in the last couple of attempts here, and Matt gets across one, and this Mafia defense has got to continue to figure out how to defend off the countless pressure here, and Skyline shot just off the post. Rebound. Will, oh my goodness, good save here. It's still pressured. Painter eventually finds the goal. 3-2 Kool-Aid men.
So many shots coming in, and that was just that save off the post too by Drago. I think he might have been listening, Nation. He was like, hey now, let's hold it on a little bit. Let's not call it too early. But that bounce out afterwards just falls into Painter's lap. Puts it over to the far post, so up by 1 and now with less than 2 to go. We're going to go for a possession kickoff here from Sloth Mafia. Sion unable to drop it down on net. We'll try to get that offense going as well. Drago onto the challenge. Drago's going to keep it low to redeem and bring us back to a tied game.
My goodness, Skater. What are we watching here? And Sloth Mafia, again, a quick answer back. We see it time and time again this game, and every single goal has been a fast answer back.
They are. You're seeing a lot of the aggression from Sloth Mafia when they're getting up on the offense. They're trying to cut off of these plays a little bit more, and those really are not challenges that they had been going through in the first couple of games. And it's showing that when they go for them, it's keeping it close. They got the win in game number 3 in part due to those, but in game number 4, it had been going to their advantage, but the passing play for the Kool-Aid men, too strong. They go the full length of the pitch in just 3 touches, and they find themselves up 1.
Skyline, a 4-3 lead now. 90 seconds to go, Gator. Kool-Aid men back on top by 1. Sloth Mafia, we've seen them answer back quickly, but can they do it again here? 90 seconds left. We've seen now 7 total goals in this game. I think that's the most tonight so far in this game.
It's the most in this series, yes. Which is kind of good to see. We're seeing the offenses start to work better. We saw so many shots on target, especially in game number 1, and a lot of them getting saved. I think it was like 6 saves per team. It was kind of ridiculous. But we're starting to see those clicks, those infield passes working out, and those quick cuts up on offense that take advantage of it are working. And Sion is going to steal it. He's going to give Rogue the playmaker in there. I do think that Rogue had the clear shot on it. But you know what? Go for a little finesse. No, Matt bumps Sion into it. Regardless, it's a tie game.
The bumps come out there for a 4th one here. 8 total goals. 64 seconds left, Gator. This one is going to have some awesome finish.
This is going to have something. This one might be a case where both teams might be able to say, hey, there was an asterisk on that one. Skyline's going to miss. He needed that Painter challenged. That was a challenge that Kool-Aid men really needed the way that the game has gone with how well Sloth Mafia have been able to respond. With 40 seconds left, still 4-4, but a dangerous situation. Painter looking for the bouncer, too high. Matt looking for the drop down, again, a touch too high. And Skyline cut off by Rogue before he can get the follow-up. And they still tie it 4-4 with 30 seconds left.
If you're Sloth Mafia, you gotta find a victory here, Gator, and send us to a game 6 at least. It's now Rogue in a one-on-one. Painter long clear forward, and Scion back makes it clear perfectly here. 15 seconds to go. Overtime beginning to loom on the horizon here, maybe.
But these infield passes are strong. We've seen them go for it, and Skyline is going to dish it down over to Matt. And he keeps his eyes on his head. He sees the teammate running up and does so well. He keeps the ball on his side during the dribble, and that gives you so many more options. Instead of just flicking it straight up, it gives you the side roll and gets the pass over and gets the 1-goal lead to the blue squad.
Kool, man, is absolutely lethal on offense here, Gator. The passes continue to impress me in this series, and now Sloth Mafia has 3 seconds to go the full field as Drago will keep it alive. Still alive here, Gator, and this one might have a 0-second goal ending.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be killed now. We're going to go 5-4 in favor of the Kool-Aid Men. Solid battle. This is what I really like to see as this series has gone, but it does put the Kool-Aid Men on series point, now up 3-1 in the matchup. Sloth Mafia have shown that they can hang with this team, but they need to show that they can win 3 in a row if they hope to survive.
They gotta win 3 in a row to survive this one, at least find 1, maybe 2 more, put up a fight, send it to 7, but Kool-Aid Men one a win away from Championship Sunday.
They want it. You can see that they want it. That they bounce back so well, and Sloth Mafia, credit to where they've done, their offense has significantly improved. They only had 2 goals in the first 2 games, and now games 3 and 4, they've put up 4 goals in both of them. The problem is the inconsistency on defense. Kool-Aid Men have now scored 4 goals, 3 got shut out, and then put up a 5-banger in response. They got to keep those goals off the board. Sloth Mafia, the offense has got a lot better. That defense has to sharpen up.
We saw 13 shots come out from Kool-Aid Men there in Game 4, and I think that really paid dividends to their success there. And, you know, we saw the amount of times where Sloth Mafia just faced a barrage of attacks that eventually led to a goal, and that just cannot happen here. They got to find their way to their own half and put pressure right back on the other end here if they're going to extend this series any further.
All right, and it is so difficult to do when you're unable to get the second and third touches because you're getting swarmed by it. Part of it is some of the touches have been a little, I think, less controlled than they've been wanting to go for. But Kool-Aid Men, I'm not to call them out too terribly strong, but they have not looked as sharp as they did in the first 2 games either. They are starting to loosen up on the edges, and that's giving opportunities for Sloth Mafia to pull up onto offense and start finding things. They won't be able to find that initial goal, but all 3 of them there, they're going to have to foot race back. Drago is going to get there, but Painter cut is going to put it near on target. Can he corral it? 3 in the net and 1 on the board for Kool-Aid Men.
4:17 to go, and Kool-Aid Men strike first here, and Painter finds the opener as the defense just couldn't make the save. Shion just got pushed back and had too much velocity going towards the goal and just couldn't save it. But now Kool-Aid Men have the opener here, and Sloth Mafia down 1-0 early.
Statistically, not a good sign for Sloth Mafia. Not gonna lie, don't want to beat around the bush, but they have answered back. They almost got one there, but the waterfall will not be caressed well enough. Instead, sprays off over to the side, and will lead to this transition here for the Kool-Aid Men. But it will be cut off by Drago, playing aggressive up in the midfield, and going for that early challenge. It not just slowing down that transition game, but it also gives time for his teammates to line up for their own challenges, get some boost, and not just have to force themselves straight back into defense, where the Kool-Aid Men have done so well to pepper that back wall.
3:41 to go, and Drago off the side wall here. Another chance for Kool-Aid Men comes across the orange side, looking for the double tap. Will not connect though, and Sloth Mafia got to extend here. They get over 1, but Matt going to keep it in play again. What a showcase of mechanics here, Gator. That's how much they're able to control the ball perfectly in midair and get the perfect touch to put them back in the offensive position.
Yeah, they're recovering really well too. Drago had a great bump onto Matt as he was setting up for that double touch. And it will ultimately lead to another push here from Sloth Mafia. But it's going to be an awkward situation. Drago challenges early on Painter and will win it. In fact, getting it all the way back over to Rogue, but Skyline back wall over to Painter. No, Scion cutting it off. We'll keep us at that 1-0 differential, but with only 3 minutes left. Sloth Mafia have to get something going. They are on their last lives here in the bracket.
250 left to go. As Sloth Mafia, like you mentioned, on their last life, they got to make it count here. As halftime approaching here in Game 5, and they're going to want to extend this series any further. They got to throw everything they have at this defensive Kool-Aid man.
They got to keep gripping. They got to find their ways to go. We got to find out how many lines of an attack. Are they a two-toed sloth? Are they a three-toed sloth? I hope they're three. They're playing threes. Otherwise, it would be a little bit awkward trying to figure out what to do with the missing appendage. But right now, they got to get that grip on the ball and get the grip on the game. They are still down. They haven't been able to get these solid pushes up on an offense that we saw early. The defense is going to stand for now as Rogue gets it up to Drago. But it's going to get that power clear to try to buy some time. But the quick return by Skyline, the demo, the drop low, and he's going to let it go in nice and slow. Kool-Aid Man up too.
2:05 to go. Skyline finds a second. Statistically, Gator, this is not looking great.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's 2:05 left. Sloth Mafia, they've been pinned back deep. They've been able to get a couple of shots on. Shots across the board actually lower here in game number 5 than we've seen throughout the series. Part of that just, I mean, Kool-Aid Men have controlled the midfield. They've been able to put some on. We're going to see a nice infield pass, something that we haven't seen as much from Sloth Mafia, to be honest. Very nearly working, but the defense cutting it out. That miss is going to prove to be dangerous, though. Painter, double touch attempt. It will keep it wide to not get that one on target. So Sloth Mafia, they have a little bit of breathing room, but they need to get this going downfield. The demo might open up some opportunities.
1:35 to go. She on a mistouch there. It's Painter. They can't finish it off, and Drago gets the save in time. 90 seconds to go as Sloth Mafia has got to put a miracle together here in the final 80.
They got to start getting it. Painter's going to get revenge. Looking for the pass over to Skyline, but will not connect. I do like the variety of the passes that the Kool-Aid Men have been coming up with. Just getting those connections, but still. Up two, they have that little bit of breathing room themselves. They have that insurance goal in case something were to go awry. A lot of infield passes coming out now from Sloth Mafia. Will it end in a goal? No, Drago's going to miss. All three up on the back wall. A rule one in the back corner. We'll go for the 2v2, but the sides are flopped. Painter is going to wrestle this one all the way downfield, and Skyline's going to go for a quote-unquote secure at the end.
That might be the nail in the coffin here for Sloth Mafia. 51 seconds left. Their playoff lives are now on the line here. They got to find 3 in the final 50, or else their Winter Invitational run will come to a close here, Gator, after Kool-Aid Men put on one strong performance.
Trying to tell if Kool-Aid Men were, if Skyline specifically, was going for a steal at the end, gets one of his own right there, or if he was trying to get a pinch on that last one, see how fast they could get it. But they're scoring fast on the follow-up as well. Matt's challenge stuffed. The Skyline dropping it right back into the breadbasket afterward. Up 4. It looks like this series is done, Nation.
It looks like that indeed. We'll see some craziness happen here in the final 43 seconds or so, but Matt's going to let this one fly towards the corner, and, you know, you got to start to think here. What a series it was. Sloth Mafia put up a strong fight. They were able to extend it to at least a Game 5. A lot of these games were relatively close, except for Game 1 and this one, but, you know, it's a strong performance either way, and it's a tough task getting to this point of the event anyway, so, I mean, props out to Sloth Mafia. Top 8 finish, not bad here, but Kool-Aid Men are going to move on.
Also, they can say, not swept, which puts them a little bit above some of these other matches. Again, not to poo-poo those teams too terribly much, but Sloth Mafia did take a game off their opponent, so that is at least something going for them here. Clock ticking away, looking to be 4-0 unless we see something for the road. It will keep it alive. The GG's starting to come out. Players looking to save some gas, throw their cars, take the keys out of the ignition, and it ultimately hits the ground.
Wow, Kool-Aid Men grab a much-needed win here. They're on a Day 3 Championship Sunday where they'll await the winner of the final series night coming up later tonight. But Sloth Mafia, again, like you mentioned, they're able to grab a game here and extend to a 5. So, I mean, they're doing better than what we've seen so far. But this final series should be a pretty solid, close one. So we'll be right back in about 20 minutes after intermission.